Hello, welcome to my channel Vidya Classes. Today we will discuss our novel The Invisible Man by H.G.Wells. Invisible man, word suggests something you can't see, invisible. You must have read the entire story. Since we have shortage of time, your exams are drawing near. I will discuss main characters and main incidents. You will have 2 questions from the fiction novel. That's as the trend tells us, mostly one question is about characters, character sketch you can say, and other is on incidents or events. But it is not necessary. The trend is this. We will talk about major characters. Today we have 2 characters, Griffin, the main protagonist, and Dr. Kemp. Sometimes you have straightforward question, write character sketch of so and so, Mrs. Hall, Mr. Hall, Griffin, Dr. Kemp. But sometimes you can be asked to compare and contrast the characters, 2 characters. So when you have character in simple way, straightforward, you will have to write in detail. But when you have to compare and contrast, your language should be a bit different, opening and ending of the question. How? Let's see. You see, in the story, a strange man reached Iping village in coach and horses. That's inn. And the owner of the inn were Mr. Hall and Mrs. Hall. And that person was a brilliant scientist, Griffin. Major character, yani main protagonist. He was a brilliant scientist, a passionate researcher. You will have to keep in mind these 2 things. When you introduce a character in your answer, first 2 or 3 sentences, you introduce your character, you tell the identity, who he is, and what is his vocation or occupation. Then in the second paragraph, you focus on details, his attributes, his qualities, etc. So Griffin is a brilliant scientist, passionate researcher. He wanted to do research, and research on what? Research on how to be invisible. And he wrote 3 books, as you find in the novel, which were later on came in the hands of Thomas Marvel. He used to write books in codes. He was so much obsessed with his experiments that he felt no qualms. He felt nothing negative when he stole the money from his father. And you know, his father committed suicide when he came to know that his money was stolen. Griffin, by nature, seems to be violent man, revengeful, criminal-minded. Violent wherever he goes. After becoming invisible, he becomes violent, short-tempered man, and he takes revenge also. Either the person is Dr. Kemp or any other villagers, then criminal-minded. He feels nothing wrong in stealing the money. First he stole the money of his father when he was a student or he used to study in university. Later on he stole the money of Mr. and Mrs. Bunting. Then he went to the emporium. He also tried there to steal the money and other things also. Other character you have secretive. He is secretive. When he invented chemicals for becoming invisible, he did not tell even his senior because he thought that his senior would take credit for the invention. So in this way he was, you can say, clever and cunning also. He is violent, bullies Thomas Marvel. He uses Marvel for his purpose and threatens him many times कि if he would betray him, cheat him, he would be killed by him. And Griffin, from a scientist, he became a fanatic. एक तरीके से उसके सिर पे पागलपन सवार हो गया. Then, when he could not reverse the process, he became invisible because he wanted to. He wanted to do something new. But after becoming invisible, he felt many difficulties. He faced problems. In cold winter, he could not eat, he could not take shelter, he felt very cold. So he wanted to reverse the process, but unfortunately he couldn't do this. He was unsociable also. You know, in the very first chapter, he said to Mrs. Hall, I want solitude, I don't want any company, and don't talk to me. उसको कई बार उसने जो है वो एक तरीके से रूड वर्ड्स में कहा. जब मिसिज हॉल ने उसके जानना चाहा कि ये रूम में क्या करता है, तो अनसोशिएबल, ही वॉज नॉट सोशिएबल पर्सन. So on the whole, we don't have good impression of Griffin. Rather, he misuses his knowledge. और जो उसकी knowledge की जो power थी, उसने instead of doing good to humanity, to other people, he did harms. Wherever he went, he harmed the people. And what is the end of the such person? That is, you can say, poetic justice. Figure of speech, poetic justice क्या होता है? एक सेंस में, as you sow, so will you reap. जैसा तुम बोओगे वैसा तुम काटोगे. और उसके साथ क्या हुआ? At the end, he was seized, he was killed by the mob, by people, and he met tragic end. ये आपका ग्रिफिन का कैरेक्टर स्केच है. दिस इज योर कैरेक्टर स्केच. इफ यू हैव कंपैरिजन और कंट्रास्ट विद डॉक्टर कैम्प, what is similar between them? Both are scientists, and Dr. Kemp was senior to him in the same university, but attitude and persona of both the persons are different. Dr. Kemp was a scientist, well qualified, very confident. He was physical appearance in, you can write some sentences, 2 or 3 about the character, tall and slender. He was a disciplined and law abiding. Did not behave in reckless manner like Griffin or anarchic, no. He was a disciplined man and always obeyed law. He ambitious also. Dr. Kemp, he wants to get fellowship from Royal Society, so he does hard work. His approach is very rational and logical to happenings. How he helps the police. You remember, he helped the police in trapping Griffin. He advised the police to spread glass powder on the road. So बहुत ही लॉजिकल अप्रोच से वो काम करता है, और उसने ही हेल्प दी पुलिस इन कैचिंग ग्रिफिन. इज ए कीन ऑब्जर्वर, काम एंड कंपोज्ड पर्सन. बहुत शांत आदमी है, कभी भी वो ऐसे बेचैन रेस्टलेस नहीं होता और शॉर्ट टेम्पर्ड गुस्सा नहीं आता. काम एंड कंपोज. Along with this, Dr. Kemp is a fearless person also, and man of determination. Fearless is one best example. When he advises the police that he would run and Griffin will certainly chase him. So he puts his life in danger when Griffin chases him. जब वो उसका पीछा करता, वो कुछ भी उसके साथ कर सकता था. एक तरीके से उसने अपने आप को बेट बनाया, अपने आप को एक लोर करने का वो बनाया कि ग्रिफिन मेरी तरफ आएगा, मुझे वो करने के लिए, रिवेंज लेने के लिए, तो पुलिस उसको कैच कर सकती है. ही इज ए फियरलेस मैन ऑफ डिटर्मिनेशन. एंड व्हेन ग्रिफिन रिवील्स हिज प्लान टू अनलीश रेन ऑफ टेरर, he doesn't agree with Griffin, so he informs the police also and tries his best to rescue everyone from the plan of Griffin. और ग्रिफिन के प्लान से सबको बचाने की वो पूरी कोशिश करता है. तो these are the character sketch. If compare and contrast, you write bit in short and conclusion also, what is in common between them and what is different. So your answer will be impressive one. But straightforward character sketch, so you will have to write in details, some justify also from examples of your text. You will write character sketch like this, and to describe a person or a place, you should know adjectives also. Confident, tall, slender, disciplined, law-abiding, rational, logical, keen observer, calm, composed. So आपको थोड़ा एडजेक्टिव की वो एक तरीके से पूल होना चाहिए, आपको नॉलेज होनी चाहिए. सिमिलरली ब्रिलियंट, पैशनेट एंड वायलेंट, रिवेंजफुल, क्रिमिनल माइंडेड, सीक्रेटिव, ये सब आपके अनसोशिएबल क्या है, एडजेक्टिव है. सो कैरेक्टर्स के लिए आपको एडजेक्टिव करने पड़ेंगे. ओके, आई होप इट्स क्लियर नाउ. बिफोर लिविंग, like and subscribe the channel. Vidya channel is your channel and I hope you will do this. Thank you.